What I like to do is I like to split up my formulas. So I'm going to grab on D here, and I'm going to add a column to the left. Okay, so there's a nice column, and I'm going to make it black so that I can see that that's different, and I'm going to resize this and make it a bit smaller. Let's make it 20 pixels. So when you're working on this, theoretically, the only things that you should be changing are the first names, the last names, and the passwords, and these things over here. So everything before this black line are what you should change, and everything afterwards should automatically be generated. Now we're going to start making this script. So this is the script that we make. Okay, and it is made up by all these little things that then combine into one script. So you can put it all in one line, and you can sort of like just go straight to the script. But because this is so complicated, we try and break it down into sections so it's easier to do, and then we combine it at the end. So let's carry on. First part over here is called dsadd, user, quotations, cn equals, and then this. Okay. So I'm going to do it again. I'm going to make this black. I'm going to change this size to 20. And I'm going to call this building. Take that thing that I just copied there. So this is the first part of the script. dsadd, user cn equals. And cn is common name. So there's a lot of ways of doing this. What I want to do for the common name is I would like to actually do this full name. So basically it's a display name. So we're going to say equals that and a space and the surname. You'll see Andy-Lee space Bernard. Okay, and let's push close on that one, enter on that one. Okay, so that's the first part. The second part, we are going to put this user with a common name into a DC called Taming G Suite. And then, as I said before, we're going to put into the second part, which is .com. So we're going to put this into DC, and we're going to say equals Taming G Suite. And then the second part is another DC, and that equals the com part. Now, remember the problems that we had over here when we dragged down? We need to make sure that this is always referencing B3. So I'm going to go here and say $, enter, and com, I'm going to say the same thing, $, enter. Perfect. So we're doing quite well so far. Let's carry on. We now need to, so we've done these part, we're now going to do what's called a SAM ID. Now if you go here, a SAM ID basically is a security accounts manager, and it's a unique account name for this user. So I copy that. Now, if you can picture this, what you'll notice here is dsadd user, that quotation, all of this stuff doesn't have a quotation, and then the quotation ends. So all of this stuff happens inside those quotations. But don't worry, we'll get to that just now. So there's SAM ID. Okay, and we want to now make a unique username for this user. So this is what we did before, was that username. So we say equals that. Okay. So that is a unique username. The next thing we're going to do is what's called a UPN. Now, UPN stands for user principal name. It's normally the same as your primary email address. So let's grab that, and we're going to say -UPN, and that's going to equal this email address that we made over there. Okay, so let's scroll across. Let's give ourselves some space here. Okay, then once we've done a UPN, we have to do an FN, which is a first name. So over here you see FN is first name, specifies the first name of the user you want to add. So -FN, let's go to the next cell. Now, the thing is, and this is one of the most important things, if you try and enter a first name into the Active Directory and it's got a space in, all hell is going to break loose. Well, it doesn't really, it just gives you an error. Okay, so we need to say, I want to have the space, or I want to have other weird things like a dash or whatever. And the way to do that is you encompass the entire first name in quotation marks. So we're going to say equals, and we're going to scroll all the way back to the first name. Okay, and then we can just push enter. But now you see Andy Lee's there, and you'll notice that if we drag all of this down, we will have Jimbo there with a space in. So what we need to do is we need to encompass this whole thing, enclose this whole thing in quotations. So you go here, and you go 1, 2, 3, 4 quotations, and an and sign, and then you go to the end, and then you say and again, and you say 1, 2, 3 quotations. And what you'll see now is it's going to put a quotation around Andy and Lee, and that's how it works. So it's saying this little quotation, it's saying I'm going to quote that quotation with those 2 quotations. And then I'm going to close that, and I'm going to put an and sign to concatenate, okay, link things together in a chain or series. Let's see how to concatenate. Okay, concatenate, fantastic. We're going to concatenate those things. So we're going to say, here is the whole thing, and then we are going to put 3 quotations, which is actually quoting that quotation. So let's push enter, and you'll now see it's Andy Lee with quotations around it. Perfect. So now we've done the first name, now we need to do the last name. So it's the same, -LN. Okay, so there's last name. If you want to obviously put middle name or initial, you can do that too. We're not going to do that. So there's LN for last name. Okay, so we're going to say equals, scroll all the way back to last name, which is there. And once again, you'll notice it doesn't have quotations around it. So we're going to do the same thing. Equals 1, 2, 3, 4 quotations, then an and sign. And then at the end, we're going to do another and sign and 1, 2, 3 quotations. And we're going to close that there. Perfect. So we've now got first name, we've got last names, and now we need a display name. Once again, I'm just going to highlight all of these and just double click so that it gives me more space. So there's display name. And as you can see from this one, I put the entire display name in quotations because it does definitely have a space in the middle. Okay, so we're going to say equals, and the display name is going to be my first name. And quotation space, and, so it's concatenating, and we are going to do the last name. So there we go, Andy Lee Bernard, and that now doesn't have quotations around it. So now we're going to have to do the whole thing in quotations. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and an and sign. And then at the end, it's 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, and that gives you that one. So that is the name surrounded with quotations. So we're almost there. So we've done first name, we've done last name. How should it be displayed? Then we've got password. So password -pwd, and the password's easy, so it's equals and that one. Now, obviously, if your password has spaces in or things like that, you can put your password in quotations. What I do is I use this website to give me passwords. So I'm saying password length of 8. How many passwords? Let's say 9, or you can do 900 if you need. We're going to use uppercase, you're going to use lowercase, you're going to use numbers, and sometimes you want to exclude those. You might want to use symbols or not. I'm going to leave symbols out for right now, and we say generate. And we could then, here's 900 passwords. You can then grab those and copy and paste them into here. Okay, and we don't need these extra ones, so you can just delete those. Perfect, so there's your passwords that are done. So we've got passwords there. Last couple. When you add it, you can say that the account is actually disabled as you add it, or you can say it's not disabled. I'm going to say no. The second to last one is must ch password, so must change the password. I'm going to say yes. So we're going to give them this password, and when they log on the first time, they have to change their password. Okay, and their account never expires. So I'm just going to grab those last three, copy that, and add that here. So let's now build the script.